Hello everyone and welcome back to Age Nagash, which is a channel dedicated to Age of Sigmar. And in this video we're going to go back to the Wanderers as part of the Age of Sigmar army archive. As I know there's been a bit of a distraction from the Karen Empire and I couldn't help myself with that. Put my hands up, and there will never to be a distraction with it again once I get my hands on the battle tomes, and I can't wait to review them. But in the meantime, let us get on with the Wanderers. So what we're going to look at this video is going to be their part 1 of their army video, and it's going to be about their Alligience abilities. So it's going to have their battle traits, their command traits, and their artifacts of power. Okay, so the first things we're going to look at is the battle traits, and the first one is going to be Defiant Hunters. So this says you can reroll battle tests for friendly Wanderer units. So that's a really nice battle trait to have in general, because it's not like if you're within, a hero, or we see lately, if you're wholly within a hero, at 50 inches, then that you can reroll battle test. No, it's just flat reroll battle test, which is good. And yeah, pretty standard, but nice. And then moving on, we've got the Realm Wanderers. So it says at the start of your movement phase, one friendly Wanderers unit wholly within 6 inches of the edge of the battlefield can leave to travel along the hidden pathways instead of making a move. If you do so, remove the unit from the battlefield, then set the unit up anywhere wholly within 6 inches of the edge of the battlefield by which it left, and more than 9 inches away from any enemy models. And this counts as the unit's move for that movement phase. Okay, so you can only do it on one unit, and they have to be wholly within range of the board edge, but I suppose if you're shooting, you want to be quite far back, maybe not that far back. But, it's definitely something you can play around with to try and, teleport your units and stop your enemy from being able to get to them. That is really what the Wanderers, this is a sort of, card up their sleeve that they have got. And just teleporting around the board, yeah, even if it's a little bit restricted like this, is good just for, if the enemy leaves their back objectives really badly defended, you can teleport behind them. And then you can shoot at the enemy because you'll probably be in range. And then you can move up in the subsequent turn and take their objectives. And then the next and last battle trait is Melt Away. So friendly Wanderers units can retreat and shoot in the same turn. So this is huge because for a lot of shooting units, you can get bogged down in combat. Number one, if they shoot, they can only shoot the thing that they're in combat with, but might not be their, desired target. And also, you risk that shooting unit is probably not very good in combat. And if it's bogged down in combat, it's probably going to die that combat phase. And if it's in your turn, you've got to think like, is it worth them staying in combat just so they can, get off their shooting, or should I retreat them and then try and win priority the next turn so then I can shoot with them that way and they'll be safer. However, if I lose priority and I retreat them, the enemy's just going to charge them again and I'll be in a worse situation. However, with this, it takes away that problem of going, oh, if I retreat I can't shoot. No, just retreat and you can shoot as well. And that can really make the Wanderers, the whole sort of, melt away ability, is to show just how fast they are and show just how good they are at archery. Okay, so they're the battle traits. Yeah, they're, obviously the Wanderers, I think I might have already said this, but they're like the Dispossessed, I'm not going to say which one's better because in all honesty I don't know, but they're not winning tournaments. I'm just going to put it that way, guys. They're not the most competitive army. They might be in the future when the maybe the Ales get a battle tome or something like that. Who knows? The Wanderers get their own battle tome. We'll see. But for now, they're not the most competitive, but you can definitely have fun with them. So going on to their command traits, we have got the Stalker of the Hidden Path. So if a friendly Wanderers unit is wholly within 12 inches of this general and leaves the battlefield using the Realm Wanderers battle trait, it can return wholly within 6 inches of any edge of the battlefield, not just the one it left by, and more than 9 inches from any enemy models. This counts as the unit's move for the movement phase. Okay, so this is, I'm going to read through all the command traits. I do feel like this is the best one. I used to play Wanderers back in 1st edition, just for a little bit, and I definitely went for this, just because the whole being able to, teleport around the battlefield is good. And I said you could use it to take your enemy, objectives, and that's quite situational. But with this, it just makes it so much easier to do that. And really for the enemy, really quite hard for them to pin you down, because it could chase you all the way to one side of the battlefield if that's what it came to. And that big important unit you've got can just teleport to the other side and then shoot the enemy from that direction. So yeah, I do like the Stalker of the Hidden Paths. I think it is one of their best command traits, but we will read through the rest because from what I can remember, there are a few other okay ones. So we're going on to the second one, which is a Mist Walker. So enemy units can only attack this general if it is the closest enemy model when the attack is made. Okay, first of all, I'll say the Wanderers, they do not have any heroes that are, you know, going to take on a Bloodthirster into combat or going to kill a Star Drake. Now, if you're out there and you have got Wanderers and you've got examples of where you can just prove me wrong, you said they have killed a Bloodthirster or Star Drake or something along those lines, please let me know in the comments, as that would be amazing to hear. However, their heroes, they're not bad. You know, if we're talking about combat wise, you've got the Nomad Prince, who's pretty competent in combat. You know, he can definitely handle himself, but he's not, you know, like a massive, you know, sledgehammer by himself. You do have things like, not just talking about combat, but talking about shooting, you do have things like the Way Watcher is, from what I can remember, a pretty awesome hero. I'll definitely be, you know, obviously reviewing that in detail when we go to the heroes for the Wanderers in that video. But yeah, the Way Watcher is like a bit like a, you know, fully automatic, you know, minigun, which is pretty awesome. Or he can be more like a sniper. And even, like I said, making your, you know, your Way Watcher have this command trait. So, you know, he can only be picked to be attacked if he is the closest enemy model. Just have him surrounded by other models, and the enemy won't be able to pick him off with shooting and all those sorts of things. So yes, Mistwalker is good depending on what sort of a general you want, I'd say. Yeah, I'd say that is a really good command trait, especially for the Wanderers. If you want to make that, you know, hero particularly good, well, that general. However, I'd say for more synergy of that army as a whole, the Stalker of the Hidden Paths is a better. Okay, and then going on to number 3 is Masterful Hunter. So add 1 to hit rolls for attacks made with this general's missile weapons. If the general does not have a missile weapon, they receive the Hunter's Hawk instead and can use the Hunter's Hawk beak missile weapon from the Nomad Prince War Scroll. Okay, that's alright, isn't it? I mean, like I said, more just focused on shooting, but it's okay. I don't think it's the best. It's, yeah, if I was taking Wanderers, I would, you know, as far as I'm aware, I would never pick this, just because I think there's better ones. So I'm going to move on. But, you know, it's alright. If you really want to get that add 1 to hit roll, you know, you've got the option there. Okay, and then going on to the 4th one is Eagle-Eyed. So add 10 inches to the range characteristic of the missile weapons used by this general. If this general does not have a missile weapon, they receive the Hunting Hawk instead and can use the Hunting Hawk beak missile weapon from the Nomad Prince War Scroll. Okay, so adding 10 inches to like a Way Watcher shooting attack is pretty good. Makes the range much better, obviously. Makes him that much better at being able to snipe things out, that sort of thing. However, I still feel like, you know, either the Stalker of the Hidden Paths or the Mistwalker traits are better. Okay, and then going on to the 5th one, we've got the Lord of Blades. So you can reroll hit rolls of 1 for this general's melee weapons. As far as I'm aware, don't pick that. Just because, like I said, guys, you know, your Wanderers generals are not going to be your huge combat dealing guys, are they? I mean, like, talking how they are at the moment, they're not like that. And, you know, although, you know, this could make well with the Nomad Princes, like the spear he has, that, you know, it's a 2 damage weapon. It's not worth doing, guys, in all honesty. So yeah, just moving on to the next one. So we've got Singer of Spells. So add 1 to the general's casting and binding rolls if they are a wizard. If they are not a wizard, they gain the wizard keyword and can attempt to unbind 1 spell in each enemy hero phase, but note they cannot attempt to cast any spells. You know, if you've got, like, is it a Mistweaver, I believe, for the wizard for the Wanderers, you really want to help their casting, yeah, you could go for this. However, nah, I mean, like, and if they're not a wizard, be able to unbind spell, I mean, it's not terrible, but no, definitely for me, the Stalker of the Hidden Paths or the Mistwalker command traits are the best, and I'd always lean more towards army-wide abilities, so I would say, for me anyway, the Stalker of the Hidden Paths is the best choice there. And then going on to the artifacts, so we have got the Falcon of Holfhaven. So we've got, for its ability, is a roll a dice each time an enemy unit ends a move within 12 inches of the bearer. On a 4-up, that unit suffers 1 mortal wound. 12 inches is a big range, but like on a 4-up, that's not bad. Suffer 1 mortal wound. I mean, I would describe it as an average ability. You know, if it was on a 4-up, they suffered D3 mortal wounds, that would probably be too powerful. So, Yeah, it's not bad, but it doesn't excite me enough, basically. However, it's not terrible. Okay, and then going on to the second one, which is the Starcaster Longbow. So in your shooting phase, you can pick an enemy unit within 20 inches of the bearer and roll a dice. On a 2 to 5, that unit suffers 1 mortal wound, and on a 6, that unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. This I think is better than the last one, because obviously you've got 20-inch range, which is a long range. You're going to more than likely do a more wound to the enemy, which is not a lot, is it? But it means that, you know, it could be good for taking out those heroes that, you know, you're not going to be minus the hit, obviously, with this ability. So it could be good for sniping out those characters. And then on a 6, if you get lucky, you could do D3 more wounds. And it's not in one of your hero phases, it's in every hero phase you can do it. So for a, what I'd say, you know, your Way Watcher, this could be a good thing just to add to his range capabilities. Okay, and then number 3 is Splinter Birch Blade. So pick one of the bearer's melee weapons, improve the rend characteristics of the weapon by 1. Like I said, your Wanderer's heroes are not, you know, beat sticks in combat. However, there's not many things out there that can increase a unit's rend characteristic. So being able to make the Nomad Prince's spear have a -2 rend, I believe, at that point, is pretty cool. Okay, and then number 4 is Wedding Wand. I think that's how it's pronounced. Or Wedding Wand, I don't know. Anyway, once per battle, a unit returning to the battlefield after using the Realm of Wanderers battle trait can be set up wholly within 18 inches of the bearer, wholly within 6 inches of any edge of the battlefield. Not just the one it's left by, and more than 9 inches away from any enemy models. This counts as that unit's move for that movement phase. Okay, so this is cool. So it might sound similar to the Stalker of the Hidden Paths command trait for your general. However, this means that you can give this to just a hero, and it's just another way for your guys to come on different board edges rather than just the one they left. So I do like this ability. This one is my favourite so far out of the artifacts, and I just think it has most versatility and just adds the most to the army so far. Okay, and then moving on to the 5th one, it's Verdicent Shawl, and then add 1 to casting rolls for friendly Wanderer wizards within 9 inches of the bearer. In addition, subtract 1 from hit rolls for missile weapons that target the bearer. Okay, this is quite good for keeping your, you know, your Spellweaver alive, or you was it Mistweaver spell? Sorry guys, I can't remember, but I will definitely remember. Don't worry when I review the War Scroll. But it's quite good for keeping your Wanderer wizard alive, essentially, basically, and it's also good for having them in range of your Sisters of the Fallen that have a lovely spell that can really enhance the save of the unit, basically, and you do always like to try and get that off. So getting that off and getting help to do it is always good. Right, and then moving on to the last one, it is the Forget Me Not. So once per battle at the start of the combat phase, pick an enemy hero within 3 inches of the bearer. That hero cannot fight or use abilities in that combat phase. Yeah, it sounds pretty cool, you know, like, oh, if there's like a Nagash there, or an Archaon, or a Maw Crusher, or a Vampire Lord, and a Zombie Dragon, or something along those lines. However, a lot of the time, I don't think it's going to be that particularly easy. And also, it's nice how you don't need to roll a dice on a 4 if it happens. It's just, it automatically happens, which is cool. However, it's once per battle, so yeah, it's not my favourite, guys. I mean, my favourite by far out of all the artifacts is the Wending Wand, which is probably the only one I cannot pronounce properly. Well, I say it's probably not the only one. I mean, there's probably more I can't pronounce, but it's one of the ones that I have difficulty with. But anyway, I think number 4, as I'm going to call it, is the best one, just because being able to teleport those units across the battlefield more easily can really help out your army. I mean, like we said, the Wanderers are not the most competitive army out there. You know, they can struggle sometimes, and anything you can do to help out the army as a whole is really going to, you know, enhance your chance of trying to win your games with them, rather than just trying to make a hero the best it can be, because you haven't got any massive powerful heroes in this army. You really just try and focus on making the army do the best it can do. Okay, so guys, that's been my review for the Allegiance abilities for the Wanderers. Yeah, there's been some good ones here, some ones that aren't so good. I realize this is quite a bit of a quick review, As I've, like I say, a bit limited with work this week with timings for videos. However, I feel like we've covered most things for the Wanderers here in the Alligience abilities. As always, if you've got any questions, leave them down in the comments and I'll be happy to answer them. And if you've enjoyed this video, guys, please like, subscribe and comment down below. So that does massively help me now. It's been great, all your support I've been getting. I'm not too far away from 1,000 subscribers, which is absolutely amazing. I mean, never would have thought I would have gotten to that stage, and I'm not at that stage yet, so I'm not going to talk about that much, but I just wanted to really tell you guys how appreciative I am and can't thank you guys enough. So, like I said, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you play the Wanderers, please let me know down below if you agree with anything I say or if you disagree with anything I have said, because it's great to actually hear your guys' opinions, especially if you've got experience in the army. And it's not just for me, but everyone else will appreciate your your advice and from your experience as well, and your feedback would be absolutely fantastic. So yes guys, I'm going to end the video here. So as always, thank you very much for watching this video, and remember, until next time, Nagash is all and all is one in Nagash.